Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you. This is our first crypto fireside chat. I'm Mary Elizabeth, and I lead external affairs and community for Robinhood. I'm going to be moderating our fireside chat today. So I am joined by our Robinhood CEO, Vlad Tenev, and our Robinhood Crypto COO, Christine Brown. Vlad, over to you.
Thanks, Mary Elizabeth, and I'm really happy to be here. We've done a couple of these so far. This is the first one where there's going to be two of us, and the first two have been really awesome. We've gotten some really good feedback, and it's led to us prioritizing a bunch of new things and resourcing them, and generally being a lot more transparent with the community. So we're very happy with that. I'm happy to be answering your questions on crypto alongside Christine, who is our Chief Wallet Officer / Chief Operating Officer. So I know everyone's excited about wallets. We are too, and we're excited to answer all your questions. Just a little bit about Christine. Today's actually her 4th anniversary at Robinhood. So she's been with us for a while, and actually helped build our clearing system prior to taking on product operations and eventually being the COO of our crypto entity. And the clearing system was the first clearing system built from scratch using modern technology in over a decade. So she's actually as heavy of a hitter as they come, doing very, very complicated things. And we've got really, really big ambitions for the crypto business. And there's no better person at Robinhood that can help us deliver that. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to you, Christine, to say a couple words.
Yeah, thanks, Vlad. Hey, everyone. I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you for being crypto customers. And I'm really, really thrilled to have some time to really tackle your questions, get to know you a little bit better and understand what you're looking for. Like Vlad mentioned, I got to work on our clearing system build out, which is one of the things that led me to crypto today. Right. Part of that was we had to integrate with the kind of technical underpinnings of the financial industry. And as you pull back all the layers and you're like, see what's behind the door. And, it's tech that was built before I was born. It hasn't been updated, and it really relies on this very, very central authority. I think that's actually what sparked my interest in blockchain and started moving me away from the broker-dealer side of the house and more towards our crypto product. So crypto, it's been a wild year so far. We've seen 9.5 million customers trading crypto on Robinhood's platform so far in Q1. And when we compare that to what we saw in Q4, it's just so much more, right? It was 1.7 million in the fourth quarter. So we're looking forward to answering your questions, hearing about how we can make the product better for you. I think when wallets is probably something that we're definitely going to be covering pretty quickly. And I'll turn it over, Mary Elizabeth, back to you.
Let's go on ahead and get started. Our first question comes from Luis B. On when we will offer crypto transfers. Luis, do you want to unmute yourself and jump right in?
Sure. I think I say, Vlad, we met actually 2018. Way back in the day at the offices there, but and you got me into options enabled for crypto trading manually back then, so appreciate it. It's helped a bunch.
Good to hear. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good seeing you. So I think since a lot of the questions were the same. When can we transfer crypto out of the wallet into the wallet? There's a lot of things interesting happening in the crypto space. You can stake things, you can get interest on them, but by buying on Robinhood, we're kind of stuck. So if you look at my account, I've actually stopped buying for the last year because of that, because I know if I put money in there, it'll be stuck in there. So that's the TLD right there.
Yeah, I love this question. We hear it all the time from our customers. And I know this is a hot topic. And so to kind of share how we're thinking about it, we are actively working on this feature. So withdrawals is the first priority on our roadmap. And in terms of a timeline, our plan is to not share a full timeline until we get it in beta. So we want to get the feature functionality in a beta group, have it actually be used and work out some of the kinks, and then kind of share a timeline with the community of when it will be available. You know, a few of the things that we have stacked up to get there, one is just really investing in the team, right? From operating to engineering to security, like transacting on chain for our customers, like just adds a whole new dimension to our product that we want to be really thoughtful about. For a lot of our customers, this might actually be their first time doing on-chain transactions, and we want that to be a really positive experience, right? There's so many things that could go wrong that we want to build, you know, safety first, to make sure that it's not something that they try once and they're like, look, I'm never going to do this again. I ended up, you know, losing money. So that's something that we're really prioritizing, as well as, you know, figuring out fee structures and making sure that, you know, at the end of the day, we've been a place with zero fees, and we want to make sure that we build that into how we kind of set up this feature as well. So those are some of the things that are on our minds as we're building. But you know, one of the things I'm excited about being in this role is that I get to be like working with the community and visible and present and answering your questions. So like the commitment I can give you is that like I will be around and I will be talking about it, and I will be sharing our progress and like letting you know when we do have a firm timeline that we're willing to kind of commit to and stand behind with the community.
Yeah, the only thing that I would add is in the early days of Robinhood, we'd throw out these dates all the time. You know, customers would ask us, when's this feature coming? You know, and we'd put a date on there. As we've gotten bigger, we've moved away from that towards giving dates that we have high confidence in, just because we know that, especially with crypto, things can change, right? We didn't anticipate, you know, going from 1.7 million to 9.5 million customers practically overnight, as Christine explained. And that type of like dramatic increase in scale puts strain on our systems. So for a while, you know, every time we're #1 free app on the App Store, the team is all hands on deck trying to make sure the service is reliable and customer support backlogs are running smoothly, because it's basically like internet scale applied to finance. I mean, you guys noticed probably the Coinbase IPO a couple of weeks ago. We were actually #1 on the App Store for pretty much a solid week, ahead of not just Coinbase, but like TikTok and Instagram and all the social media products. So I don't think there's a lot of precedence about a financial company operating at this scale. And I think Christine mentioned our top value is actually safety. Like, we know everyone wants these features. We want them too. We want them yesterday. But the #1 thing we have to absolutely nail is making sure your money is taken care of. Because without that, you know, Robinhood isn't going to get anywhere. So it's been, you know, the team has been growing a lot. So we've been onboarding new people, but also doing our best to make sure that the service is running as smoothly as it can for you. And, you know, crypto is so unpredictable. We don't know how many more times we'll be, you know, #1 on the App Store the remaining year. It could be that things calm down and we can make sure that we can deliver more features earlier. But it could be that we just see continual influx of growth, and we'll have to contend with that. So we want to make sure that we're confident in any public date we commit to, and that we can deliver the highest quality product possible that's safe and easy to use.
Real quick, just maybe a quick follow-up. One ask would be in your FAQ, it still says kind of if and when we allow it, we'll let you know. It's kind of a one-sentence thing. I think it might be, especially if we're really working on it, it kind of contradicts what it was said on the Twitter account as well. So if we could be very clear, like it is going to happen. And then when you can have some idea, like, is it this year? Is it next year? Especially around the capital gains tax changes that are coming through, that guidance before the end of the year will be really helpful. Like, are we talking months? Are we talking years?
Yeah, that's a great point of feedback. But I think you bring up a broader issue, which is like, you know, a lot of users are thinking about tax implications right now, right? It's tax season. we're planning for the next tax year. So I think that's a great call out, and I'll take that back to the team and see what we can do to get some clarity around that, because it does impact taxable gains and how you want to invest and how you want to kind of plan for the next 9 months.
Great, thank you. Our next question is from Rohan M. And Rohan has a question about when you can borrow against crypto holdings. Do you want to jump in?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, and appreciate the time and opportunity to come join this session. I think, so 2 questions really. One is first, and I think to your point earlier on timing, maybe be helpful to talk more about what are the decision criteria or the set of characteristics that you're considering to make a decision on whether we can borrow against our crypto holdings or earn interest against them. In the former situation, obviously Coinbase is allowing that. What would make you come closer to that decision, or what would you have to see to actually make that call? Thank you.
Yeah, Rohan, thanks so much for the question. I think when it comes to how we strategize our future roadmap, right, we start, with our customers. What are our customers asking for? What do they need? How do we build a product that can make them more effective, impactful investors? Right now, we are very, very focused on deposits and withdrawals, because we're hearing very clearly and loudly from our community, from our users, from you guys, that's what you want. And so that's what we're going to work on. Beyond that, I think that we will follow that kind of same approach of doing research, talking to customers, talking to users, understanding what is their investment journey with cryptocurrencies? What do they want from it? And really building a product around that. I think things like staking, lending are all things that in conversations have been brought up. But right now the main focus for us is deposits and withdrawals.
Great.
Got it. Thank you.
So I think our next question is from Pei Chow Z. And Pei Chow has a question on buying stocks on foreign exchanges and the support that we might have. Do you want to jump in and ask your question?
Yeah, sure. So this is not a crypto question, although I do enjoy other crypto discussions here. So basically, I read it somewhere else. There are 8,000 companies traded in the US market, but there are 50,000 companies traded worldwide. So there must have been better opportunities out there. And but when you look at existing solutions, they are either very hard to use or they have very high margin rate. And just ideally, I think maybe one day there could be a broker that allows me to buy all the stocks around the world in a unified interface that are simple to use. And I hope that one broker could be Robinhood.
Yeah, we hope so too. I think selection is one of our goals. Eventually, we want to have as many assets as possible, high quality assets onto the platform. And that includes things like OTC stocks, international equities. For the crypto inclined, it includes adding a whole bunch more coins onto the platform. The way we've thought about it is we do, as we're still staffing up the teams dramatically for building new features, have to prioritize these things against other priorities. And so, for example, on the equity side, connecting to international exchanges stacks up against other things that customers ask for, like being able to open up accounts from other countries, and things like opening up different types of accounts like retirement, joint accounts, custodial. So if you think about what Robinhood is, we have a lot of features and a lot of products, but we're still very early in our journey, and there's a lot of work to be done. And with the features that we have, we're already seeing unprecedented scale. So I think we'll get to all of these things, but it is a little bit strategic. You know, U.S. equities probably cover 97 to 98% of use cases. So it's a little bit different than, say, if we were Amazon, when there's a huge long tail of things that customers want to buy, and you kind of have to continually make sure that your inventory keeps up. With U.S. equities, or the equities market in general, the U.S. Is a very, very large percentage of things that customers are investing in. From time to time, we'll see demand from for a particular type of asset. For example, right before we added ADRs back in 2018, it was kind of the time when Pokemon Go was just like going viral on the internet, and so we saw people searching for Nintendo, you know, and we keep track of all of the searches that that happen on Robinhood that are unfulfilled, and we saw there was like a clear winner, and that made it clear to us that there was actually a ton of customer demand for adding that security, and we were able to roll it into the ADR launch, and we haven't seen anything quite like that since, which is a signal to us that we're better off prioritizing other things. Like, we see things from time to time popping up, and when we do see something that there's a huge amount of customer demand for, and we can add it safely and quickly, we'll generally prioritize that in our roadmap.
Yeah, thank you.
That's actually a great connection and segue into our next question from Joseph F. Joseph, you're up next. And Joseph has a question on when we might be able to begin allowing joint accounts. Joseph, do you want to?
Yes, that's kind of my question. Vlad, you touched on it just a little bit. But I'd really like to see a joint account because I'm married and my wife is not on the account. And
yeah.
So, you touched on it a little bit, but where is that in the priority list? The joint account.
We hear you on that. It's definitely something that actually we hear quite a bit from customers, probably even more so than adding foreign stocks and OTC stocks. This is just one that is deceptively a lot of work. So much of the Robinhood interface and the Robinhood app is tied in with sort of like having one account. And I think there's a lot of people that enjoy the simplicity of the interface. So we definitely want to solve the problem of having survivorship, as you put it, and having things taken care of. It might just be a phase solution where we look at things like beneficiaries and then layer into multiple accounts when we get to the point of being able to fit them cleanly and neatly into the interface without complicating things too much for first-time investors.
Right. So even beneficiaries would be an improvement, one small step.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah. We hear our customers on that, and it's definitely something that we're looking into.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I think we're going to turn over to Linda V. Linda has a question about trading halts.
Hi, how are you? So it's not just about trading halts, but it's about all of the I know that you're a growing company, and that as you're growing, there's going to be things that are unprecedented that are going to occur. But there have been things like the trading halts that just, even though I'm not one of the people that were really engaging in that, it destabilized my level of safety. Like, I feel like I need to be able to count that if I need to trade, I can trade. Or, for instance, I've been investing in cryptocurrency initially from the start, and I did really well with one of my coins, and I'm unable to reinvest in my long position because there's about like a limit for what I can do. So these are things that, like, I actually ended up having serious tax ramifications because I had to pull funds off of this account and move it into another account so that I could invest in my long position. So what exactly is that limit? Why do we have it? I mean, I'm not using margin, so I don't understand why there would be a limit for what I can have in my account on any one cryptocurrency.
Yeah, so I think this is like there's like a $350,000 limit per kind of coin holding. Is that what you're referencing?
In any particular account, you can have a maximum of $350, and so I had a higher balance than that.
Mm-hmm.
And so to be able to take out my long position again, I ended up having to withdraw money from Robinhood and put it onto another cryptocurrency exchange, and so that's an issue.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And I think that, so the limits, why they exist, they're part of our kind of firm risk set of controls. And, we set them up when we initially launched our crypto program to, with a safety first mindset to just make sure that when it came to everything from money movement to deposits, that like we had a way to kind of keep tabs on it. I do think that like we should be looking at these and revisiting these. I think that your use case is a great example. Not a lot of people hit that limit, but your call out that you felt the need to actually move off platform, that was a taxable event, like you had ramifications from that, like that's really real. And I would love to follow up and kind of see if there's something that we could do, especially, one-time exceptions or per account exceptions, where we know that there's less risk, to enable people to kind of go above and beyond.
Okay. I mean, that one hurt because I actually really enjoy your platform. I find the ease of use is nice, but that's just something that's a little destabilizing as far as feeling safe with your company.
Yeah. When it comes to like that feeling of safety, let's imagine a world where we have this conversation and I'm able to go back and we kind of fix this limit situation for you. Like what would you need to see from Robinhood for you to come back to the platform and feel that safety and say, like, I trust you?
Well, I'm still with your company. It's just for my long position, I decided to take it elsewhere.
Yeah.
What I need to see is, the ability to trade. I mean, at least for accounts that aren't using margin, that might be something that would be considered, because I really want to have the maximum ability of profitability. I mean, that's the whole goal. So
yeah,
that's it. I mean, I love you guys so far. I've been with you since 2018 and I've done well and I'm grateful. I think that you opened up accessibility to the average person, So that's what I would need to see. I would just need to be able to have access to make the trades that I need to make without these types of limits on my account.
Yep. I hear that.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, we'll definitely take that away. That's great feedback. I think sometimes by operating at sort of large scale, we have these policies and rules that are good for 99% of people, but obviously there's edge cases that end up being bad experiences. And it sounds like, you ran into the limits, which probably is a very low volume use case, but a very, very bad one. And we're working towards making sure that we can handle that and eliminating these one by one. And for those that we can't eliminate in the product, making sure that you have good phone support and people that you can reach out to live and talk through the issue with. So we've, for the phone support, we've prioritized options cases. We've been rolling out to all high severity options cases, but the goal would be to cover all high severity cases and then eventually all cases. So we've been making a huge investment on that front too. And I don't know if you follow me on Twitter. For those of you that do, my pinned tweet is actually Robinhood is a safety first company. So the number one value that we build with and what we spend the bulk of our resourcing on is making sure we maintain reliability of our service, we improve customer support, security and data privacy. Those are actually where more than half of our resourcing is going through. So I think you're definitely seeing some growing pains as we're kind of going through this hyper growth phase, but we definitely promise that things will improve over time. And we want to get to the point where Robinhood is actually like you feel like you're at a disadvantage by not using Robinhood from the standpoint of safety. And I think we'll get there. It might take a while for the perceptions to shift, but we've got really, really talented people working on that incredibly hard.
Okay, thank you. I have one more question, if I can ask it, that I had posted. I know there's a lot of conversation about the wallets. Do you have a timeline for the beta testing at least?
We don't, right? We'll have a timeline once we are in beta. Then the obvious question is, okay, when are you going to be in beta, so that we kind of know at least when that update is going to come. We don't have a public timeline for that quite yet. But I know Vlad and I are constantly talking about this on Twitter. I don't know, like Vlad on Twitter is all wallets all the time. I love it. So I think, in terms of staying connected and making sure you hear the latest, both of us, we're available. Follow us, chat with us. We will definitely keep you updated.
And look, if there's one criticism we haven't gotten, it's that, we move too slowly generally. So it's interesting that, we're hearing this now, but like one quality of Robinhood is like, we ship a lot of features in a fraction of the time that it takes most finance companies. So when we're on it, I think you should expect that you'll get a high quality product. And I know, people are excited about spending their Dogecoin at the Dallas Mavs store, and Mark Cuban is involved and talking to Ellen about it. So we feel the pressure. Keep applying it. It's good for the team.
I'm actually a business that's accepted cryptocurrency since 2013.
What?
And yeah, I've been accepting it from a long time. And so it's going to make transactions for me so much easier because so many people use this platform.
Mm-hmm.
It'll make it easier in my business. So that's why I'm looking so forward to it.
Absolutely. No, and we're excited about that use case, and we want to build something really high quality and special that maintains the ease of use of the core product. And I think that's kind of been a tricky thing about wallets, right? Like you get these like really complicated private keys. You don't know what to do with them. Do I have to like keep it in a safe somewhere? And it's kind of like explaining to someone how to use a password manager. You probably hear that everyone should be using a password manager, but trying to convince like my parents to use it, and they're like, "What the hell are you talking about? Like, I'm never going to use this complicated thing. I'm just going to like write it down and reset my password if I ever lose it." So I think we have to solve that problem as well, and I think we're confident that we're going to come up with something really nice.
Okay, I'm excited. I've been using those types of wallets already for a long time, and that's why I think this one is going to be just cutting edge. So I'm looking forward to it.
I think what we'll go to next, let's see, Xavier A. Xavier has a question on multiple Doge addresses.
Yeah, so this is Xavier. So first and foremost, I want to say thank y'all. I've been using Robinhood since 2015, so to see where it's come, like how far it's come along, has been insane. And I've been diving into crypto since it was offered, at least with Dogecoin. And
congratulations.
Thanks, I appreciate it. And I don't want to be overly presumptuous here, but it almost seems like it's a shame what happened in January with a lot of the misinformation, but I think it almost feels like Robinhood's like saving grace is the crypto and like really like the explosion and success of Dogecoin itself. Mm-hmm. And it almost seems like besides perfect execution, there has to be like this mitigation of misinformation surrounding a lot of the things that happen. There's been a lot of misunderstandings. And I think one of the biggest questions is, with crypto being inherently decentralized, is it possible for Robinhood to comment on the possibility of ownership of maybe, without being extremely specific on which address, like, is it possible to comment on saying, does Robinhood own like a top 10 address, top 20 addresses, at least 30 addresses, within Dogecoin?
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation. I think it was in December and January of some of the big whale addresses and who do they belong to, and right, a lot of detective work. Our lips are sealed on this one. And so that's a kind of a security policy, right? Like we have to, because we custody our users' coin one for one, right? So when you buy cryptocurrency, when you buy Doge on our platform, we get that Doge and we store it in a mix of hot and cold wallets. We have hired external security teams that are constantly testing our platform, but we are storing and custodying those assets. And for your protection, we need to be very, very tight-lipped about sharing information about like those wallets, where they are, how much is in them. So it's just something that we can't comment on, and it's really for the benefit of our customers.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why it's an industry standard practice. Like you won't see Kraken or Coinbase listing their wallet addresses, because what happens is when we do eventually allow withdrawals, and you spend your coin at a merchant, then that merchant knows where you bought your coins, where you're holding your coins, and it's just a loss of privacy that it's just unnecessary for us to impose on all of our customers. Yeah, we hear you on that. There was also another question that we got at around this time that we addressed, which is basically like, does Robinhood actually hold these coins for their own benefit? And just to reiterate that we do not. Any coins that we hold are for the purposes of providing access and holdings for our customers. We don't have significant positions in any of the coins that we keep on a proprietary basis or anything like that.
Yeah, to put like a super fine point on it, on behalf of the firm, we do not trade, hold, or like lend. We don't take part in any activity when it comes to, cryptocurrency. The only thing that we do is we, at the direction of our customers, buy and sell on their behalf and custody in a segregated manner, right? So, tucked away in a place where no one else can use it, kind of your assets.
No, I appreciate that. Thanks. I've been trying to swap between the AMAs on Reddit and coming back and waiting for this. So no, I appreciate the answer. Thank y'all.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Xavier.
Next, we're going to turn to Jason. And Jason has a question on cost basis tracking.
Yeah, thank you all for doing this. I know these conversations aren't always the easiest. Vlad, thank you specifically for speaking with Dave Portnoy one-on-one. That was a great conversation, cleared a lot of things up, great drama.
Thank you.
But to my question, absent the introduction of crypto wallets, is there anything that Robinhood is considering doing in terms of cost basis tracking? This actually applies to all growth assets. When prices goes up, it's kind of hard to invest more knowing that when we sell, it's always FIFO by default. So I was just wondering if that's something Robinhood's looking into.
Yeah, this is something that we do hear from a number of customers, especially around tax season. And I think we're going to be investing a lot more in the tax experience in general, and trying to figure out how to help people there. So tax lot reordering and selling is definitely something we've got our eye on.
Got it. Thank you.
Do you have, Jason, if you don't mind me asking you a question, do you have like an ideal experience that, when it comes to managing your cost basis that you like look at and you're like, this is the gold standard, this is what I really want. I'd love to hear about it.
Sure. So I'd like to start with the problem I'm facing, which is, I invested in Bitcoin when it was in the mid-teens.
Mm-hmm.
And now, it's 50 some odd thousand, and I'd love to buy the dip and then, sell 3 days later. I'd love to have my original cost basis, hold that long term, wait until I hold it for an entire year before selling it, but also buy at 50K and sell at 60K, do trades like that. Okay. I know that Schwab, their platform allows for a selection when you sell. Do you want to sell it FIFO? Do you want to sell it LIFO? They also have this thing called like tax loss optimizer. So they help you optimize, like if it's a loss, they prioritize short-term losses. If it's a gain, they prioritize long-term gains. So some feature like that, I think, would be super helpful for Robinhood. Absent that feature, it's almost like if I were to do long-term investing, I would do it on a different platform. If I were to do short-term investing, I'd do it on Robinhood.
Right.
I'd love to do all my business on Robinhood.
Yeah, I think when I hear problems like this, I used to be a product manager, so I imagine what the experience might be in the app and how you might actually engage. But now that I kind of sit and oversee our operations team, there's a lot of ways that we can actually solve customer problems while we're heads down working on other product initiatives, like operationally, right? Like building out processes where customers can say, hey, I made this trade. I would actually like to swap the cost basis out on it and have us work with our tax partner, right? It's manual and it's not perfect and it's not ideal. Yeah. But I think that in addition to thinking about how do we make the perfect product experience, there's also a very real, maybe middle step that we could take back, which is, as our operations team grows, right, we're investing and hiring not just in product, not just in engineering, but also in ops and compliance and all of the more nitty gritty. But as that team grows, maybe this is also something that we could take on operationally in a short-term capacity so that, especially in volatile markets, right, there's this option for people. So I love that idea. Thank you for sharing kind of the root problem with us.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks. And so I think we're going to turn next to Ranjit P. Ranjit, if you want to unmute and jump in.
Absolutely. Just a quick question. Are there any plans to support Ethereum staking via the planned crypto wallet? Would love to keep my assets on Robinhood, but Coinbase is offering an APY of 6%. So yeah, just curious about any plans around Ethereum staking.
Yeah. So with our kind of appetite to build withdrawals and deposits, I think that we are kind of looking to meet that use case first of helping users get their assets on and off the platform into their own wallets before we kind of look into a product like staking. Vlad, I don't know if you and I I haven't heard your opinions on what you think about staking and whether it has a future at Robinhood and personally kind of your interest in it.
You haven't, have you?
I haven't.
I'm very keen on one use case in particular, which is earning a lot of interest. I think for those of you that have been with Robinhood for a while, you might remember that we were kind of early to the idea of giving people as much interest as we humanly could. And with the first version of cash management that we rolled out, it was a 2+% APY rate on their fiat dollar balance in their brokerage account. Of course, then 2020 hit, the pandemic happened, the Fed lowered rates to 0. So now you're getting 30 basis points APY on your fiat USD. So we definitely understand the use case. I'm a big fan of kind of the barbell approach of giving people access to self-directed trading products and investing. And on the other side, if they want sort of near riskless, let's say, return products, being the best in that category. So we're definitely keeping our eye on this space. I'm excited about staking and lending and all of the possible ways that you can get more yield. The way that I like to think about it is you want to get interest on your coins, and we should just optimize the interest that we can give you within the constraints of safety. And that's a big concern too. There's all sorts of new protocols propping up that are offering high interest, and those are subject to counterparty risk. So we'll want to make sure that that's clearly communicated to customers, and we kind of pick the right mechanism for giving you the yield. But it's definitely an opportunity, and I think given how many customers we have and how many coins we have, we'd like to offer that sooner rather than later. The crypto team's going to be busy. Let's make no bones about it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I think we have time for one last question. And next up, we've got Richard P.
Yeah, no, I really didn't anticipate asking a question. And honestly, pretty much the audience has asked the questions. the ability to stake, the ability to withdraw, the potential interest, and you know, there are firms now giving loans. You can stake, not stake so much, but put your cryptocurrency up and actually take a loan against it at extremely low interest rates from what I'm seeing. So, you know, someone said earlier on the call, there is this feeling, right, that your money's just trapped right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you get this same funds that you have, if you could get it out right now, it's another $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month in just pure interest and gains. So it really is frustrating to, you know, I appreciate the answers and the work that you guys are doing. All I can say is please do it faster. Or, you know, I don't really have the interest to pull it out of Robinhood, but if you don't offer a competing product that someone else out in the marketplace does, then, you know, it's just inevitable that you'll lose a lot of funds on hand as well. So thank you for allowing us to ask the question, and sorry for being a little unprepared there.
No, it's great. I think that, you know, what has been, you know, I'm 5 days into the job so far. Best job of my life, hands down. And what's been so great about it is that, you know, it's so clear that there's a customer demand here, right? Like there's a lot of times in a career working in tech and product and ops where you're making a decision with imperfect information. You're saying, is this the right priority? Should I be investing in this? Is this the right thing for our users and the company? This is one of those areas where it's like, it's really clear what the right next step is. And it's really easy to motivate a team to like run against it, right? People see how excited folks are on Reddit and on Twitter. And I think that excitement really does fuel the team. And they know like, hey, me kind of sitting down, coding, me putting together SOPs, standard operating procedures every day, getting ready for this, me looking at AML tools to keep our customers safe. All of this is like going towards a goal that is so important to our customers. So we hear you. I love the request to work faster. Like I hear that and it just makes me want to like jump off this meeting and like go work, you know? So I appreciate that. And I love that you came here and that you're like chatting with us about it.
Thank you. Thank you guys for the opportunity.
Well, I think that is a perfect wrap up for us here. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Vlad and Christine.
Yeah, I appreciate all the time that you guys spend giving us your feedback and asking us all of these questions and holding us accountable to operating transparently, safely, and giving you guys all these features. Our goal is to be number one in this space worldwide, right? We have no smaller ambition than to be the best place to use your cryptocurrency in all the ways that you want to use it. And we're not going to stop until we get there. And once we get there, we're going to keep innovating. So excited for you all to see what we come up with.